When it comes to human relationships, most people want to be liked. We want to be seen as approachable, trustworthy, and enjoyable to be around. But sometimes, without even realizing it, we develop habits that push people away instead of drawing them closer. These behaviors don't always come from a place of malice. Often, they're simply patterns we've picked up over time, unaware of how they affect others. The problem is, even small habits can leave lasting impressions, shaping how people perceive us and whether they choose to spend time with us. If you've ever wondered why certain friendships fizzle out, why coworkers keep their distance, or why connections don't last, it might not be about who you are. It could be about what you repeatedly do. Today, let's uncover 9 habits that can make people dislike you. Not to shame or criticize, but to shine a light on behaviors that, once recognized, can be changed. The first habit that tends to repel people is constant negativity. Everyone has bad days, and it's natural to vent from time to time. But when negativity becomes your default outlook, when every conversation is filled with complaints, pessimism, or cynicism, people start to feel drained around you. Human beings naturally gravitate toward those who uplift them or make them feel hopeful. If your energy is always heavy, others may avoid you to protect their own mood. This doesn't mean you need to be fake or pretend everything is perfect, but it does mean that constantly focusing on what's wrong creates an environment that feels suffocating. People remember how you make them feel, and if you leave them feeling worse instead of better, they'll eventually keep their distance. The second habit is interrupting others. Communication is about listening as much as it is about speaking, but many people fall into the trap of cutting others off mid-sentence. Sometimes it's out of excitement, other times out of impatience, but regardless of the reason, the result is the same. People feel unheard and disrespected. Interrupting sends the message that what you have to say is more important than the thoughts of the person speaking. Over time, this erodes trust and makes others reluctant to share with you. Good conversations thrive on balance. When you interrupt, you shift the focus to yourself, which makes others feel invisible. Even if you don't mean to, the habit can make you come across as arrogant, self-centered, or dismissive. The third habit that drives people away is gossiping. Talking about others behind their backs may provide temporary entertainment or bonding, but it usually leaves a bitter aftertaste. People know that if you gossip about someone else, you could easily gossip about them too. This creates an atmosphere of mistrust, where friends, coworkers, or acquaintances hesitate to open up to you. Gossip often thrives on negativity, highlighting flaws, failures, or scandals. And while it may bring short-lived excitement, it builds long-term suspicion. Those who constantly engage in gossip may believe they're being funny or socially savvy, but in reality, they're earning a reputation for being untrustworthy. Relationships rooted in tearing others down rarely last because people want to surround themselves with allies, not critics in disguise. Another habit that can make people dislike you is bragging or constantly one-upping others. Confidence is attractive, but arrogance repels. There's a fine line between celebrating your achievements and using them as a weapon to outshine others. When every story you share is about how you did something better, faster, or more impressively, people begin to feel belittled. They may stop sharing their own experiences altogether, knowing you'll always try to top them. What's worse, bragging often makes you seem insecure, like you need validation to prove your worth. Truly confident people don't feel the need to constantly advertise their greatness. They let their actions speak for themselves. If you make every conversation a competition, you'll win attention in the moment, but lose respect over time. The fifth habit worth noting is being unreliable. Few things damage relationships faster than a pattern of broken promises, constant lateness, or failing to follow through. Reliability is the foundation of trust. When people know they can count on you, they feel safe investing in the relationship. But when you're frequently flaky, people learn not to depend on you. Maybe you cancel plans at the last minute, miss deadlines at work, or say you'll help but never show up. Each time this happens, it chips away at how others see you. Even if your intentions are good, reliability is judged by actions, not words. Over time, unreliability sends the message that you don't value others' time or commitments, which makes people withdraw from you emotionally and practically. The sixth habit that turns people off is dominating conversations. Talking too much without giving others space to contribute can make people feel invisible. Conversations are meant to be exchanges, not monologues. When you constantly steer discussions back to yourself, over-explain, or refuse to let others speak, it sends the signal that you're not interested in what anyone else has to say. This habit may not come from selfishness. It might simply be nerves or excitement, but the result is the same. people feel overlooked. Over time, they'll stop engaging because they know they won't be heard anyway. True connection comes from curiosity, from asking questions and listening with genuine interest. If you don't leave room for others to share, people will start avoiding conversations with you altogether. The seventh habit is lack of respect for boundaries. This can show up in many ways: overstaying your welcome, prying into personal matters, borrowing things without permission, or pushing people to do things they're uncomfortable with. While you may think you're being friendly or persistent, others experience it as intrusive or inconsiderate. Boundaries are essential for healthy relationships, and when you repeatedly ignore them, people begin to feel unsafe around you. Respect means recognizing where someone else's comfort zone begins and ends, and choosing not to cross it without permission. Ignoring boundaries can make others feel controlled, disrespected, or even violated, leading them to pull away. People naturally gravitate toward those who make them feel secure, not those who constantly push past their limits. The eighth habit that can make people dislike you is being overly critical. Feedback can be valuable, but constant criticism wears people down. If you always point out flaws, correct mistakes, or highlight shortcomings, you create an environment where others feel judged instead of supported. Over time, people begin to associate you with discomfort, as though being around you means never being good enough. Criticism is especially damaging when it's delivered harshly, without empathy or encouragement. While constructive feedback can help someone grow, relentless fault-finding only erodes confidence and weakens relationships. People want to be around those who inspire them, not those who make them feel inadequate. If your words consistently focus on what's wrong instead of what's right, others will start keeping their distance. The ninth and final habit is being selfish. Relationships thrive on reciprocity, on give and take. When you consistently prioritize your own needs, desires, and opinions without considering others, people notice. Maybe you always choose the restaurant without asking, expect favors without offering help in return, or ignore what others want in group settings. Over time, selfishness creates resentment because people feel used rather than valued. Even small acts of self-centeredness add up, painting a picture of someone who doesn't care about others' well-being. True connection requires generosity of time, attention, and care. When you fail to give, people eventually stop giving back and the relationship fades. Selfishness might provide short-term satisfaction, but it destroys long-term trust and affection. When you step back and look at these 9 habits, constant negativity, interrupting others, gossiping, bragging, being unreliable, dominating conversations, disrespecting boundaries, being overly critical, and selfishness, it's easy to see how they chip away at relationships. Each one sends a subtle but powerful message that makes people feel undervalued, disrespected, or drained. The good news is that habits can be changed. Awareness is the first step. Once you recognize the patterns, you can make small, consistent efforts to replace them with healthier behaviors. Listening instead of interrupting, encouraging instead of criticizing, respecting instead of crossing boundaries. Over time, these changes transform not only how others see you, but also how you see yourself. Being liked isn't about being perfect. It's about showing others that you value them. And when people feel respected, heard, and appreciated, they naturally want to keep you close.